I wanted to cover how to install and adjust a knee lift assembly on your Consew 206 RB. That's a walking foot sewing machine. So if you've got one of those and your knee lift isn't working right, well, this is the topic for you. I also have some pretty detailed video resources on how to adjust that machine. So one on minor adjustments and one on the real deep dive major adjustments. So I'll put links to those videos in the description below, as well as the knee lift assembly that I'm talking about today from Q-Tech. So let's get into it. This is a pretty standard table blank for a Consew 206 RB model, and it's kind of a standard cutout as far as the opening here, but it can be positioned slightly different in the table, and the overall dimensions of the table might vary from one manufacturer to another. So the real question is, where do you mount that knee lift assembly underneath? And there's really no good set dimension from that. I have seen numbers called out in some of the old manuals, but usually they reference the outside edge of the table, and to me that's just unreliable. There's going to be too many variables. So for me, what I like to do is just take a straight edge off the front of the table and just measure 7 5/8 in from this edge of the opening. Now you have to be careful that you're not dealing with this edge of the slot, because that's highly variable, but this is the one you want, the edge of the opening where the machine will sit in. And then you position your straight edge 7 5/8 inch from that measurement and just strike yourself a line. And what that now represents is the center of the main rod on that knee lift assembly. And a larger square or straight edge can help transfer that line to the back of the table as well. I usually put a clamp across the whole assembly just to keep the end caps in place as I install it. What you'll need to do though is measure the center to center pattern on the actual holes in your knee lift assembly, and mine is actually 2 9/16. So what I'll do is take half of that, 1 9/32, and mark that out from the center line. 1 9/32 each way. There we go. So that'll give me a guide as to where to pre-drill my holes. And once the holes in the knee lift are centered over those reference marks and the whole thing is positioned about a 1/4 inch off the front of the table, you can go ahead and mark locations for pre-drilling holes. I do recommend adding a little general purpose grease in the pocket of each end cap, and that's something you don't have to do very often, but just do it before you install this assembly. And by the way, that's the only place on your industrial sewing machine I would ever recommend using grease. Anywhere else you're going to use clear sewing machine oil. If you're already a subscriber, I'd like to sincerely thank you. If not, and this mechanical DIY repair is speaking your language so far, consider subscribing to the channel. Of course, you'll have your machine as a reference, and you'll be thinking about where that finger assembly needs to land relative to the bell crank on the underside of your machine. But let's look at some of the common adjustments to get that knee lift operating correctly. Many of the adjustments will be with the 8mm wrench, and you can just loosen the knuckle that holds the position of this finger assembly and move that back and forth until it's centered over the little roller wheel or bell crank underneath your machine, and you can snug it up there. This other adjustment screw just lets me extend or retract that finger assembly depending on how far away it is from the bell crank. One of the main adjustments is this stop, and you want that just to limit the arc of motion so it doesn't go too far. If I was to loosen this and not have it set correctly, basically you just hear a loud clunking noise and the whole knee lift would kind of fall over to the side and it wouldn't operate normally. So basically, once your knee lift lifts high enough to release your presser foot so that it'll drop down from the hand lifted position, then you know you have that stop set correctly. Sometimes I'll see those stops installed on the back side of the knee lift, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes there's limited clearance between the knee lift end cap and the little drip pan under the table, and I just find it's easier to adjust if I put those at the front. Then there's just some basic adjustment. With this 10mm bolt, you can loosen the knee lift pad and raise or lower that as desired, just where it hits your knee. So pretty simple there. This adjustment just controls where the knee lift is situated along that rotary path, and you can tighten up where it needs to be and set that pretty easily. This is one I see people get fouled up on though. If this is adjusted incorrectly, where this is extended all the way out like so, just to put it in a position that's comfortable for them at the machine, the problem you might run into is that this bar will actually contact the underside of the table before the stop contacts its end plate. So that's kind of a problem, and if you see that happening, you just want to loosen that up and at least back it off enough that it's the stop that's physically limiting that arc of motion here rather than just an interference here. This is the model I recommend. It's a complete unit, it's pretty heavy duty, and I get them from Q-Tech Sewing, so if you need a replacement or yours was missing, you can just jump down to the description box. I'll have a link for you there. Now let's look at how the knee lift actually articulates with the machine and solutions to a couple common problems. Now this one's the 206 RB4, but of course knee lift adjustments will be very similar on most machines. As you operate the knee lift, this finger assembly will raise up and contact the bell crank on the underside of your machine, and that's what raises and lowers the presser foot. Now the knee lift itself is not spring loaded, at least these models aren't, but there is a small spring underneath the machine itself. And the spring looks like that. It actually hooks to the bell crank under your machine, so if you've lost spring tension on your knee lift, it could just be that you've broken or you're missing that spring. And there's a little better look at how that spring is normally situated. Now as you lower the machine head, if you see that knee lift wiggle, sometimes there's just a little mechanical interference there. So you may need to make slight adjustments to the height of the finger assembly just so that you can just clear as you lower that head down. It really shouldn't move the knee lift much, but the main test to see if your knee lift is operating correctly is to raise the presser feet by hand, and you should be able to lower those by knee. And that one looks good. And just a rough gauge to get you in the right ballpark, when you're in the down position, that finger assembly will be more or less horizontal or slightly up from horizontal, and at full presser foot lift, it'll be at about a 45-degree angle. And I've also found that just by trial and error, the bottom end of the finger assembly, the part that doesn't contact the bell crank, typically will be about 3/4 of an inch past the knuckle when it's in a good position, so that's a nice place to start. In a situation where you raise the knee lift all the way up and it won't quite lower the presser feet down, here's a couple of adjustments to try. This is my little visual aid that I knocked together just so you can see all the moving parts without the oil drip pan in the way. And basically, if you can't release the presser feet by knee lift, you want to take a look at this finger assembly and either raise up the finger on it so it has a taller action, or loosen the screw that lets you rotate this knuckle on the shaft so it starts a little bit closer to the bell crank under your machine. And the two adjustments we're looking at are by 8mm wrench. If you loosen this screw here, that'll simply let you raise or lower the finger itself. You want to get that as close as possible to the roller wheel on the bell crank there, and once you have that, just snug it up for starters. The other adjustment is back here. If I loosen this adjustment bolt, it'll let me rotate the whole knuckle on the shaft, and again, I usually start with that about horizontal, but you may wind up with it a little bit higher. Snug it up, test things out, and once you can confirm that you're able to lower the presser feet by knee lift, well then, give those bolts a good cinching. Now in the event that you use your knee lift and it goes too far and makes a clunking noise, and then it no longer works, your stop on the knee lift is actually out of adjustment. And when it does that, the finger assembly is way over here on the wrong side of the roller wheel, so you just need to set the stop so it can't go that far. This is what that stop should look like, so make sure that yours isn't missing, and you might need to make a slight adjustment. Basically, it's just there to limit the travel of the knee lift pad, so as you move your knee over to the right, it'll contact that hard stop on the end cap. There's an adjustment bolt on that stop. Mine's a 13mm, so you can just loosen that and make an adjustment one way or another to get that stopping in the correct position. But another thing to think about is if this is positioned too far from that end cap, it may leave you with a little bit of slop there. And so what I like to do is push that all the way to the inside of the end cap, get my position right, and tighten up that fastener. And that way you'll lose any of the slop but you'll also make sure that the stop gets a good contact against the end cap and can't slip past it. So as long as that contact's a nice solid stop, you're in good shape. Some people set it to contact this projection down here. Other people will set the stop to contact the side of the end cap, and I think either one can work just fine. Okay, so hopefully these pointers will help you get your new knee lift installed, or at least get your old one adjusted correctly so it's doing everything it should. Remember to drop down to the description box. There I'll have some video resources for you, including a couple of videos on how to repair a 206 RB model. One is on minor adjustments and the other one is on major adjustments. So between those two videos and this knee lift resource, I think we should have you covered. But also, if you're in the market for a new knee lift, consider that Q-Tex sewing model, and I'll put a link to that as well down below. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. And if you're not already, consider subscribing to The Thoughtful Woodworker. After all, I made this thing for you. That's cool, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool.